Would you like to achieve greater results with less effort, in a shorter period of time, and using fewer resources? Today we will explore one of the great secrets of highly effective people and organizations, the 80/20th principle. Welcome to the Book Corner, Episode 2. In this installment, we will delve into the concept of how to accomplish more with less. Greetings everyone, here we are again at the Book Corner, another week, another book under analysis, summary, and idea extraction, options, advice, and tricks that we can apply in our ventures, companies, and in our pursuit of independence and success as entrepreneurs. Today we are going to explore the 80/20th principle, a book written in 1997 by the English author Richard Koch, who is still with us, unlike the misinformation from last week. Koch is recognized as a writer, speaker, and investor, based in London. In addition to this book, he has written other works that also are based on the 80/20th principle, including versions aimed at managers and executives. We will focus on the original version to understand what it's about and how we can apply it. At the end of the podcast, we will extract clear and practical ideas that we can implement in our businesses and ventures, derived from the content of this book. And as always, at the end of the podcast, we will analyze the actions to be taken. But what exactly is the 80/20th principle? This principle states that 80% of results come from 20% of dedicated efforts, that 20% of causes generate 80% of consequences, and that 20% of our effort produces 80% of results. To illustrate this, let's look at some striking examples that allow us to understand it in practice. These examples are not invented, they can be empirically verified. For example, 20% of the clothes you own are the ones you use 80% of the time. If you have 100 garments, 20 of them are the ones you use 80% of the time. This is easily measurable. Another interesting example, 20% of criminals commit 80% of crimes. And in a more domestic realm, 20% of the surfaces of your carpets receive 80% of the wear and tear. This may sound amusing, but it's an undeniable truth. Of all the space in the carpet, 20% receives the most wear. This is the 80/20th principle. In a business context, this means that 20% of your effort produces 80% of the results. Looking at it from another angle, 80% of your time barely generates 20% of the results. This leads us to reflect on how we focus our time and effort at work. If you adopt this principle, you will see that you can transform the way you approach your business to achieve better results. Now, where does this 80/20th principle come from? It wasn't Richard Koch who originally discovered it, although he did popularize it through his book. This pattern was discovered in the late 19th century, in 1897, by the Italian economist Vilfredo Pareto, while conducting research on the distribution of wealth in England. Pareto observed that 20% of the population enjoyed 80% of the wealth, which not only applied to economic distribution but also repeated in practically every aspect of life. Upon deeper investigation, Pareto discovered that 10% of the population owned 65% of the wealth, and surprisingly, 5% of the total population controlled 50% of the total wealth of the country under study. This imbalanced yet predictable distribution of wealth among the population caught Pareto's attention. What can we infer from this? Our common sense leads us to expect that all causes have equal importance and that 50% of the causes generate 50% of the effects. However, the 80/20th principle challenges this logic by demonstrating that a small percentage of causes produce the majority of effects, making it a valuable and counterintuitive concept. This principle is applicable in various aspects of life, including the business realm, where we will focus in this podcast. In the business sphere, it is crucial to learn to think in terms of 80/20ths. To do this, it is necessary to analyze which areas of your company generate the majority of income or profits, which you can do by categorizing your data by products, customers, geographical areas, or other relevant segments. Once categorized, identify the 20% that is generating 80% of the profits according to the 80/20th principle. You will be surprised to see how this principle holds true in reality, which will enable you to make more effective decisions to maximize your business results. There is a group of products that represents 20% of your inventory but generates 80% of your sales. In other words, out of a range of 20 products, only 4 are responsible for 80% of your income. Are you following? All you need to do is analyze which are those top-selling products. The same applies to your customers. If you don't already have a customer database, it's time to start one as soon as possible. This is basic advice you'll find in any book or mentorship. You need to keep a record of your customers. Once you have this list, identify which 20% of your customers generate 80% of your sales. This is a reality, not an exact formula. It could be that 15% of your customers generate 90% of your sales, or 5% generate 80%. The important thing is to recognize that there is a noticeable imbalance where a minority of customers generate the majority of your income. So, going back to your company, identify which products, customers, geographical areas, or distribution channels make up 20% of the total and which of that 20% is generating 80% of your profits. Once you've identified it, you should focus your efforts on amplifying that small percentage. If you have 4 products that generate 80% of your income, what will you do? The answer may surprise you. Instead of trying to boost sales for the other 16 products, you should focus on boosting sales for the 4 successful products. This approach goes against the common trend in many companies, which is to try to increase sales for all products equally. The 80-20 principle urges you to change that mindset. The same applies to your customers. While there may be a large number of customers who make small purchases, you should prioritize the 20 that generate the majority of your sales. Instead of spreading your efforts to serve all your customers, focus on those who generate the most revenue for you. By focusing on this minority of customers, you can significantly increase your income. This idea, which goes against the common perception of many managers and business leaders, is something you should start considering and applying. If you do it numerically, you will realize that the results can be truly impressive. However, there will always be a struggle against the ingrained notion that entrepreneurs prefer complexity. They like things to be complicated and structures to be big, heavy, and slow. In reality, what we should aspire to is to simplify our structure and our work. As mentioned in the book, simplicity is beauty, and it's true. Simplicity and the ability to focus, instead of dispersing ourselves with a wide range of products, can have a significant impact on improving our income. The book addresses various ways to apply the 80-20 principle to different areas of a company. We will start with the marketing area. How can we apply this principle to marketing? As mentioned earlier, 20% of the products you sell are responsible for 80% of your sales, just as 20% of your customers represent 80% of your total sales. Therefore, a company's marketing should focus on promoting that 20% of products that generate 80% of the profits in a prioritized and dedicated manner. Additionally, marketing should focus on providing exceptional service to that 20% of customers who are responsible for 80% of sales. In summary, to apply the 80-20 principle to marketing, we must take 4 key actions. 1. Identify and enhance the marketing of the best-selling products, i.e., that 20% that generates 80% of sales. 2. Provide exceptional service to key customers, that 20% representing 80% of total sales. 3. Study and thoroughly understand these key customers to know their preferences, motivations, and needs. 4. Create new products and services specifically designed to meet the needs of this group of key customers, with the aim of retaining them and turning them into long-term customers. Now, let's see how we can apply this principle to the sales area. Most studies reveal an interesting trend. 20% of a company's salespeople generate between 70% and 80% of total sales. Okay, we're changing focus again, but for a good reason. If we analyze closely, we'll see that these numbers hold true in most cases. 20% of our salespeople generate 80% of sales. So, what do we do with this information? First, we need to change our mentality and strategy regarding our salespeople. Firstly, it's crucial to keep close to that 20% of outstanding salespeople. We need to engage in conversations with them, get to know them deeply, and strengthen the relationship. Secondly, we must ensure to keep this select group happy. We should focus on taking care of them and pampering them, as they are crucial to our success. Thirdly, it's important to gather our top salespeople and identify what they have in common. What characteristics, skills, or techniques make them so successful in sales? Once these qualities are identified, we should seek to hire people with similar profiles. We could even ask our top salespeople to assist us in the selection and training process of new employees, always aiming to find those who share the same qualities as the star salespeople. Furthermore, it's crucial to analyze how our top salespeople allocate their time. When are they most effective during the day or week? In which seasons of the year do they find the most success? Identifying these patterns will allow us to optimize resource allocation and enhance the moments when we achieve the best results. Regarding sales tactics and channels, it's important to analyze what methods our top salespeople use to close those deals. Do they prefer phone calls, in-person visits, or social media? We must identify these successful strategies and empower them across our entire sales team. Lastly, concerning training and development, we should focus on those salespeople we plan to keep with us long-term. It's important for our top salespeople to become mentors and coaches for the rest of the team. Additionally, we should reward them based on the performance of the salespeople they are coaching, thus fostering a collaborative and committed environment. In summary, we should invest our resources and efforts in those salespeople who are demonstrating exceptional performance, as they are the engine of our business success. What we've seen earlier in the marketing section are tools you should provide to your sales team. For example, instead of asking them to pitch all 20 products from your catalog, focus them on the top 4 products that generate 80% of the sales. Your sales team should concentrate on selling the 20% of your most successful products and catering to the 20% of your most important customers. You should allocate fewer resources, less money, and fewer personnel to less relevant customers. An interesting piece of advice is for your sales team to also focus on reactivating old customers who used to generate good revenue, but may have stopped doing so recently. Call them and try to rekindle that relationship to reintegrate them into the group of active and valuable customers. Recently, I watched a podcast by a highly successful marketer in New York, and this directly relates to what we're discussing about sales. This individual was meeting with some clients and recommending something similar, calling each customer to express gratitude for their loyalty. It wasn't about promotions or additional sales, but simply about expressing gratitude. This simple action can yield surprising results and helps to humanize the customer relationship. I encourage you to try it out. Even if you have many customers, you can organize the team so that each member handles a few calls. The results can be unexpectedly positive. You're simply taking a step to humanize your relationship with customers. Do it. Try it out. You may have 30, 100, or even 2,000 customers. In any case, find a way to organize the process so that each member of your team or the entire company handles making a certain number of calls. Do it. You'll get amazing results. Why? Because by giving attention and care to your customers, you're demonstrating genuine interest in them, something few do. This will yield positive results. Although this veered a bit from the book, I consider it a valuable piece of advice worth mentioning. In summary, to think in terms of 80-20 in your company, you should seek and focus on any area where you identify a 20% outstanding activity. Dive into it, become an expert in it, and use all available resources to expand and grow those 20%. Whether in sales, human capital, finance, or marketing, everything should be geared towards strengthening and expanding what is already generating 80% of your results, whether it's products, customers, or any other relevant aspect of your business. Seek strategic partnerships with other companies or allies, but carefully select only the 20% of individuals who are the most powerful or influential in your field. Avoid partnerships purely out of friendship and seek connections that genuinely drive your growth. Partnering with powerful individuals will help expand your reach and business opportunities. Additionally, whenever possible, reallocate resources, moving money, personnel, and materials from the 80% less productive to the 20% that generates the majority of your profits. Concentrate your efforts on that 20% that produces significant results. Stay constantly alert to the market and adopt the best practices, ideas, and strategies from others, both within and outside your industry. Thoroughly analyze successful tactics used by others and select the 20% that you consider most effective to apply in your company. Don't hesitate to eliminate the 80% of less productive activities, whether they're products, services, or customers that don't significantly contribute to your profits. In the realm of marketing, this strategy can be especially relevant. When we work in marketing, it's common to work with customer lists. For example, if a campaign generated 2,000 customers on a mailing list and we start sending them emails with offers or proposals, we'll likely see many unsubscribes from our list. Although this may seem negative, it's actually an opportunity to clean our list and focus on those customers genuinely interested in what we offer. It's important to understand that we're filtering and leaving in our list only those who have the potential to generate profits. Therefore, we should see this process as a positive one, as it allows us to focus on our target audience and eliminate contacts that don't contribute to our business objectives. On the other hand, I would like to highlight a chapter of the book that I consider highly relevant and recommend applying in your daily life after exploring the 80-20 principle. It's about the 10 golden rules for success in your career, which are practical actions you can implement to enhance your professional development. Here are some of them. 1. Specialize in a very specific market niche and develop a key skill to stand out in that niche. 2. Ensure that you are passionate about the niche you work in and that you have the opportunity to excel and be unique in it. 3. Recognize that knowledge is power and commit to continuous learning, both from your competition and your surroundings. 4. Identify your target market and key customers and serve them in the best possible way by understanding their needs and offering solutions that meet their demands. These golden rules are fundamental for building a successful and enduring career. By specializing, being passionate about your work, continuously learning, and meeting the needs of your customers, you will be laying the foundation for achieving success in your professional journey. 4th, identify your market and key customers and serve them to the best of your ability. 5th golden rule, identify which 20% of your efforts generate 80% of your benefits. What 20% of your working time generates 80% of your earnings? If you discover that only 20% of your time actually produces the majority of your profits, why continue to dedicate the remaining 8 hours? Instead, why not focus on those highly profitable and productive activities? If dedicating only 2 hours a day to specific tasks gives you 80% of your earnings, wouldn't it be more efficient to spend more time on those activities and less on others that are less productive? Identify those tasks that generate the most benefits and focus on enhancing them. For example, if you find that dedicating a couple of distraction-free hours in the morning allows you to be more productive, consider scheduling more time to work in this manner. The key is to optimize your time and focus on activities that yield tangible results for your company. 5th golden rule, identify which 20% of your efforts generate 80% of your benefits. What 20% of your working time generates 80% of your earnings? If you discover that only 20% of your time actually produces the majority of your profits, why continue to dedicate the remaining 8 hours? Instead, why not focus on those highly profitable and productive activities? If dedicating only 2 hours a day to specific tasks gives you 80% of your earnings, wouldn't it be more efficient to spend more time on those activities and less on others that are less productive? Identify those tasks that generate the most benefits and focus on enhancing them. For example, if you find that dedicating a couple of distraction-free hours in the morning allows you to be more productive, consider scheduling more time to work in this manner. The key is to optimize your time and focus on activities that yield tangible results for your company. 6th golden rule, learn from the best. Tony Robbins, a renowned business and personal development guru, emphasizes the importance of observing and learning from those who are succeeding in areas that interest us. Instead of envying their success, we should study what they are doing and emulate their strategies. Robbins calls this process modeling, which involves modeling the actions of those who have already achieved success. The idea is to learn from their experience and apply their teachings to our own situation. This rule is closely related to the idea of studying successful people and following in their footsteps, which will allow us to improve our own position and increase our chances of success. 7th golden rule, become self-employed as soon as possible. We have addressed this topic in the program, haven't we? Especially if you are an entrepreneur still working for another company. To own your time, manage it effectively, and decide how to be more productive, it is essential that you become self-employed. I will always support this idea and encourage you to do so, preferably with proper training. That's why we are discussing tools and ideas that allow you to be self-employed productively. Becoming self-employed is an important decision on your journey as an entrepreneur. It is a necessary step to own your time and use it optimally. I provide you with the tools to achieve this efficiently, but becoming self-employed is a decision you must make for yourself. It is an integral part of the entrepreneurial spirit. Moving on to the 8th rule, employ as many value creators as possible. This rule also relates to the teamwork we've been talking about. Hire people who can contribute to the growth of your company and add real value. This will allow you to delegate less important tasks to those who can do them better than you. For example, if you need a website, you may be able to do it yourself, but if you hire someone with more experience, the website is likely to be of better quality and completed faster. This will free up time for you to focus on what you do best, thereby maximizing your efficiency. The ninth golden rule is to use external providers for everything except your key skill. If you excel in sales, marketing, or another specific area, focus on that and delegate the rest to external providers. Let other people take care of aspects like customer service, accounting, or marketing, so you can focus on what really matters and what you're best at. This strategy will optimize your time and allow you to focus on what is most important to you and your company. And finally, the 10th golden rule for success in your career is to use capital to consolidate your growth. When we talk about capital, we mean money. Use money to strengthen your growth and make it exponential. For example, if you have identified which products sell the most, invest money in boosting the marketing of those products. If you have noticed that a region, such as Valencia, is generating a lot of sales, invest more in that area to further increase your income. These are the 10 golden rules for success in your career. I present them to you as concrete actions, as they are easily applicable. Now, I would like to conclude with a series of actions that I propose to you, inspired by this book and the 80-20 principle. First, reflect on your company, your job, or your entrepreneurship. Take 2 key actions. Identify which products have the highest demand and eliminate those that do not sell. Focus on promoting the most successful products and redouble your efforts to increase their sales. Second, identify who your most important customers are, those who generate 80% of your profits. Pamper them, communicate with them, show them your interest and concern for their satisfaction. A second action you can implement is to audit your own time and actions. What 20% of your actions generate the most benefits for the company and demand less time from you? And what 20% of your time are 80% of the results generated? Identifying these key areas is crucial. Focus on them and delegate the rest of the less productive tasks. You can start by eliminating distractions, simplifying processes, and in some cases, even reducing staff. Additionally, I encourage you to apply the 10 golden rules for success mentioned earlier. This book is essential. It is crucial that you internalize its concepts and put them into practice in your business. Adopting this mindset can make an exceptional difference in your entrepreneurial future. I also invite you to subscribe to this channel so you can continue to enjoy this type of content. I hope you put these ideas into practice, as they can truly transform your entrepreneurial future. We are here to continue the conversation and assist you on your entrepreneurial journey. See you next week on the Book Corner. Until then, goodbye.